So, are we here? Yeah, looks up. Looks like it's up and running. Hey, good. Pick up exactly where I left off yesterday. This is the way it's been going recently. No time to carve except for during these streams. So each one is an exact continuation of the one before. Morning, everybody. Gathering around. Carving toes. Details, details, details. Not sure if you can see it. I try to zoom in closer, but that's about the max we can get here. But, this last little touch, and then we'll get up to that. Okay, legs are done. Get something more interesting here. Nice wide strokes. Let's go. Not quite looking forward to this arm with all this hair on it, but we'll get to that. Should ask Jed, please don't make the characters too hairy. See what's in the box here. Usual good mornings, good mornings. Why the short stream today? I got to go to our accountant's office this morning. I tried to make an appointment for later in the day, but they weren't available. So it's coming up to year-end tax time, and I got stuff I got to sort out before the year end. We've got like 6 weeks left, and there's issues on how we use our money wisely to avoid paying too much tax next year and stuff like that. I've learned that if you wait till March and stuff to do some of these things, it's too late because things had to be done during the previous year. So it's no big deal. I got a meeting with our... It's funny, the people who do our taxes, it's quite a large company, and we're a real minnow to them. They don't really actually want to do our business, and they've tried to cancel it. But the reason I've got a company like this is that one of my previous subscribers, back when I was making the Poets prints, he owned a company that made cardboard boxes, which is why I knew him, because we ordered boxes from those guys. Anyway, we became friends. He collected the Poets prints, and at one time when I was, I guess the tax laws changed or something here back in the early 2000s. And I needed tax advice, and he said, I'll send you to my guys. And it's this giant corporation, like 14-story huge company doing taxes for like Toyota and stuff, And they said, no. And he said, you will do as I ask you. Help this boy. So they took me on, and they're still doing my stuff, And it feels bizarre. I go into this giant place and full of all these suits and computers and businesses and stuff, I'm like sitting in a corner, a real minnow. But they do my stuff, It's funny, the guy who introduced us, that president of the cardboard company, he's gone now. So when he died, I half expected them to say, okay, Dave, that's it. Please go and find a company your own size or something. But they've kept on, So that's where I'll be this morning. I won't be wearing a suit. I don't have one, but I'll be over in suit land today. Better put some socks on, I guess. Actually, it's funny dealing with these guys. I said I'm a minnow, and I'm nothing, and there's 14 floors of these people or whatever. But I've still surprised them. A couple of occasions I've surprised them. They're looking at my books when I get the things ready for the end of the year. And the guy will look at it, he says, what's this, son? Oh, you got some income here. What's this? PayPal. And I'm like, he doesn't know what PayPal is. He does the books for giant companies, but he doesn't know what PayPal is. So I explain, They have a huddle and blah, 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 what to do with it, Like I said, just pretend it's a bank, it's an account. People pay money into my bank account, and I get it, Okay. Then we had a similar conversation, not last year, 2 years ago, I guess, And he says, what's this? You've got some income here listed from this thing called Bitcoin. You can't do that, And I'm like, well, actually you can. People come in the shop and give me these things called Bitcoins, And they have another huddle, and is this legal, So it's really bizarre. It's a giant corporation. But in some ways they're so out of touch with stuff, They should hire me to teach them things. Anyway, that's where I'll be today, so that's why the stream's early. Sorry. Rambly answer. Actually, too, thinking about that, too, there's going to be another part of the conversation today. I'm sure they're going to ask me the same thing. I see this line entry in your pages here. What's this Patreon thing? They're going to start all over again, I'm sure. Hopefully they should hire me to keep them up to date with stuff, That's one of the questions on my list for them today. How do I handle the income from Patreon? Is it just normal income, or does it go into a special account because it's, what they call in Japanese, kifukin? money donated for a specific purpose. I don't know how to handle it in the accounting. So. Yeah, the corporate world, I don't know, I don't know much about it from first hand, but there was a gentleman in here a few days ago. I know I shouldn't name drop, so I'll tell you who it is. A very well-known guy. He was here, actually. He's one of those people that gives talks and is invited to places to talk about the future and where the world is going and stuff like that. He's a very light fan of ours. He was in picking up a print. And he's been invited here by the NEC Corporation, one of the giant electronics companies, to give kind of talk. And he and I were chatting about this, whether or not this corporation was actually going to be able to use any of his advice and stuff like this. And obviously a company like that, these giant corporations, I think, I try to paraphrase what he was mentioning, was that they're their own worst enemy in one way. I mean, they're successful at doing something. That's why they got to be giant. And they have to maintain that activity, of course, And yet the world changes, and it's very, very difficult for somebody that big to be able to change. You can't just destroy your base business, of course. So you got your base business that pays all these tens and tens of thousands of employees. You got a huge liability in maintaining that. And yet the world is changing. It's like standing on quicksand, And a little dude like me, we can change things in a day. We can start a new activity and do something else. But yet these giant ones can't, And I'd hate to be in that situation. I'd hate to be the manager or president or whatever of some huge outfit, because, my God, how do you keep it going? If the world didn't change, you're okay, but... So it's easy to laugh at these guys, the giant dinosaur corporations and stuff like that, but, it's easy to laugh, but they have a responsibility to try and stay in what they're doing, keep what they're doing. You get all those employees, all those paychecks, all the people depending on you, the products you're making going out into the world, I can't imagine driving a car that big, We're obviously in no fear of that, our little Mokuhankan becoming too big. That reminds me, something else I got to get some feedback on. We had a little, on a whim reading lunch yesterday, a bunch of the staffers here. We were thinking about a bunch of different things, and we noticed that our sign outside, it's been up for 3 years now, and it's getting a little bit dirty, and it's getting a bit faded in the sun on parts of it. Our building faces north, so there's no direct sunshine, but the sign is still getting a bit faded. And as part of it, we're going to have to reprint it, get a new sign. But as part of that, I've been playing with the idea of something a bit bigger than just changing the sign. And maybe bouncing it off you guys here might be an interesting place to at least float the idea here. Nothing's decided yet, but there's an idea that I've been tossing around. I don't know, we've got a nice steady business here in Japan, in Asakusa, made up of, people who are visiting the country. We have our online shop. People go to our website, buy prints. We've got subscriptions. We've got different aspects to our business. One thing that's really not clear is who are we and what is the actual name of our business? And just as a little test right now, the random people who are watching this stream right now, I have no way of, giving a show of hands, but how many of you, without looking it up, can tell me the actual name of our business, that word that starts with an M that is kind of long? I can't check this, but if we were all sitting in a room together, put up your hands, all those who can remember the actual legal name of Dave's business, what it says on the website, the something.com. I don't mean the woodblock.com, my personal website. I mean the business here, the one that has the online shop, the one that's here in Asakusa. And whatever, I'm sure some of you can remember it, I'm sure some of you can't. But the point I'm getting at is that actually the name of our business is not a very good brand when it comes to foreigners, people who are non-Japanese. The word, and it's Mokuhankan, makes great sense in Japanese, and it's a wonderful name in Japanese, and I'm astonished that nobody else took it for a printmaking business before. Mokuhan is woodblock. Mokuhankan is the place where you get good woodblocks, as in terms of woodblock prints. But what I'm getting at is it's difficult, very difficult for many Westerners. Okay, so Mokuhankan. Mokuhankan. Somebody got it right, somebody got it wrong. Moku. Anyway, you get what I'm getting at. There are people who can remember it. Thank you very much for those who could, but there are an awful lot of people who can't remember it. It's like Mississippi's and stuff like this. It's got too many vowels and too many letters, and it's too long for people to remember. So if people know about our business, they go to a computer, sit down, and whatever, they search for, they won't know my name either, maybe people I remember. They start searching for ukiyo-e Tokyo or woodblock Tokyo or something like this or whatever, search for different terms, and bang, then we pop up, but they can't remember our name. And it's not a very good idea for a business to have a brand that people can't remember. Ask Steve Jobs and stuff, what those guys tried many years ago. So we're thinking not to dump everything. We're going to stay Mokuhankan. We're thinking. But what we're thinking about doing is, from now on, every sign we make, every piece of letterhead that goes out, every web page we make, all the subscription print packaging, the envelopes, all the forward-facing things that people see, what I'm thinking of doing is adding something to this. It's Mokuhankan fine woodblock prints, but then I'm thinking of adding a phrase below it that could actually become our company name. And that phrase is woodblock.tokyo. It's actually a domain name, which I've got if you're in a browser, woodblock.tokyo. .com, .net, .org, .tokyo is an actual legitimate domain name. And there's nobody on this planet who can't remember that once they've heard it. All those guys in Japan, woodblock.tokyo, of course, Not Mokuhankan, not Dave Bull, not Seseragi Studio, the name I used for my personal place over there. Woodblock.tokyo. So we're thinking that from now on, like I said, every sign and banner and thing in the shop and receipt and everything to do with our business, it still says Mokuhankan, which would be the legal name of our shop. But the forward-facing branding would say woodblock.tokyo. So the feedback from the employees, who was here, there's Cameron, I understand, a bunch of us are sitting there, they said that they're all like mumbling, blah, 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 blah. And then one point that came back was, well, okay, we put that on the sign, and you write it, WODBLCK.TOCKO, but nobody's going to speak it the way I spoke it. I spoke it with the word dot. And how do you teach people or train people to think of it as Woodblock dot Tokyo? Because when you see it, nobody would read it like that. Or would they? I don't know. And is this a good idea or is it a strange idea? I don't know. If there is any sort of light feedback on this, I'd appreciate some thoughts about this. Something that people could remember. Because they can't remember Mokuhankan. They don't even know what it means. A bunch of you guys don't even know what it means. And the domain name is already active. I've got it, and it points to our current activities. What? There's something in the order box, and actually there was an order in the middle of yesterday's stream, which actually did come from one of the people who was viewing, and I probably just tossed it off. Hey, there's another order. I didn't really say thank you carefully enough. I can't look at all these things while I'm doing this, but if this is something similar, again, an order from somebody here, thank you very much. These are appreciated, as was yesterday's very nice order. I'm not going to call out people individually. I don't think we should start doing that. No way. It becomes like a telethon. No, thank you. But yes, the orders are appreciated. or people order things just so they can get to hear the music. I'm on screen, right? Keep moving this thing around. Oh, stream, look at this, long, long, long. Woodblock.com is stronger. It's still there, nay. So I don't know what you're doing. Woodblock-Tokyo.Tokyo. I don't know about that. That's not me. So Woodblock Tokyo. Oh, long stream. I'll catch up later. Yeah, dates and times. I'm using Tokyo time. You know, that's all I can do. I can't say I won't be here on Wednesday Australian time. You know, I mean, all I can do is use Tokyo time. I'm sorry. I have to assume that you guys can figure it out. I do keep mentioning all the time. Whenever I do mention time, I do add Tokyo time to sort of make it clear there's something going on. But what are these things here? This is his belt, is it? His something sash holding his clothes together. Those are his tools. That's his arm. What's an apron? Oh, I see. It's the belt holding his apron up. Okay. Gotta figure out what it is before you start cutting it. Get the lines in a strange place or something. Ooh. Domain names, yeah, right. Too much for me to catch on read here, sorry. I'll catch it later. Uke-related shops in Kyoto. I only really know of one these days. There were 3 or 4 I knew. They're gone. Okay, questions. So I know Kyoto. Yeah, I know there's one place that you've got to catch. I don't know their name, but I know where it is. There's that arcade street which has got a cover on top of it. It's called Teramachi or Teramachi Dori or Teramachi Dori, kind of. It's an arcade going north and south, just west of the main street there near the river. And about halfway up, if you're looking north, about halfway up on the left-hand side, on one of the corners, there's a great funky shop with lots and lots and lots of prints. I'm sorry, I just don't remember the name of it. I haven't been there in years. On Teramachi Dori, halfway up on the left-hand side, on one of the corners. It's just got tons and tons and tons of stuff. It's junk and treasures. There's very, very expensive things there. There's a bit of tourist schlock there, but there's lots and lots of real prints. It's hard for me to tell you what's going to be good and what's going to be bad because it's a mixed grab bag of everything. But they really have the real stuff there. And everybody can find something of interest. I could never get out of there empty-handed. Absolutely never, never, never. Just I don't remember the name, I'm sorry. And that's really the only place I know. There was another one on the same street, Teramachi, up at the top end on the right-hand side, but he's gone now. The old guy died, I guess. And that was really an insane place. It was a shop, but it wasn't a shop. It was just this guy who had prints and books in a room. And it wasn't set up with shelves and drawers and stuff to browse through. Just he had, there's furniture in the room, and on the top of every horizontal surface there were stacks of paper. And these stacks of paper were prints and books and stuff, all tottering, ready to fall over and bent and smashed up. And this was his woodblock print shop, And you'd chat with the guy, and you couldn't just browse through this all by yourself. You had to ask him, chat with him about what you're interested in, and he'd dig through all this pile of rough paper. And he'd pull us out and throw it on the table in front of you there. And it was really quite a bizarre experience. I guess he must have died long, long, long ago. I don't know. The shop's gone now. But yeah, the only place I know of in Kyoto now for a good selection of this sort of stuff is that one on Teramachi Dori. So. I've found a few treasures in there. Here in Tokyo there's 3 or 4 places you can go to get a good interesting selection of things. But it's not like it was, my God. I mean, the real old timers, the guys who came after the war, my God, they got stories to tell. But, back when the dollar was king and the yen was worth nothing and there were just prints everywhere. But even in my era, I came in, I think, 1979 at first. You'd walk through the book district and there were so many shops that had books and prints. So many. And some of the prices, I even remember some stuff now. I just want to cry, And one by one, they're all gone. And there isn't a half a dozen left now in Tokyo. Places to go shopping for this kind of woodblock print, I gotta watch my time, you know. I don't have much time left, I think. For those of you that don't know, it's been a short stream today. I have to get out of here around 8:45 or so. I have an appointment with our accountant. It sounds great. I have an appointment with our tax accountant. But yeah, this is a business, and we do have tax issues, and I have to talk to the guy before the year ends. So. And it's the only time they had available for me was this morning, 10 o'clock, so I got to get over there. So yes, this will be a short stream, I'm sorry. I'll be back here tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Probably at the same place on this block, picking up the next brushstroke. I've also really got to get going in this, you know, I've been just working on this only during stream times, and I can't do that. I'll never get it finished, so I've got to get working on this at other time of day as well. This is way, way behind schedule now. Nice curves. Okay, I think we're probably almost there, are we? My guts are crunching, just the idea of talking about all the taxes and stuff. Where are we, time-wise? 41. Okay, I have got to get out of here. Yeah, I've got to get out of here. Sorry, gang. My apologies for cutting it short. Duty calls. There's our print coming along really nicely. If I had nothing else to do, it's whatever, it's a day's work to finish this off, but just scratching an hour at a time, hour and a half at a time doesn't cut it. Okay, I'm just having any idea what's going on in the chat here, I'm sorry. Alright, sorry, okay. Hi. Okay, sorry about the chat here. I haven't been able to watch it and see what's going on. I'll try and catch it later. There we are. I'm sorry about today's stream. Very, very short. I'll be back here tomorrow, same time, same station with it. More on this block, and if there's good questions, we'll answer some questions and have a better conversation. Sorry for the disruption here. Thanks very much, guys. I got to get going. If I can see how to get going. Bye-bye.